Hello, everybody. So you join us following the news that Bruno, Graham Potter, and all the rest of the backroom staff have left the Albion. I'm not overly sure what to say. We're going to have a few of the guys joining us live. So Aaron's coming on, Toby's coming on, a few of the other guys will be coming on to give their views about the news that has come out. Obviously, let us know your views in the comment section, and we will get your comments out there into the world. And just bear with me live whilst we wait for the guys to come on and give their say. But yeah, awful news. Broke not that long ago. So what can we say? As I say, we'll wait for the guys to come on. They'll give their views. Any views that you may have, drop them in the comments below, and we will read them out for you. Yeah, it's just a bit rubbish. So yeah, as I say, guys, just bear with me, and we'll wait for the guys to join. Bruno as well. That's the one I'm really struggling with, Bruno. So as I say, guys, any thoughts that you have, drop them in the comments. Yeah, we'll see what we say. Here is Curtis. Hello, Curtis, my friend.
Hello, Joseph.
How are we getting on?
Absolutely fine. It's not like some massive news has just happened or whatever, but I'm all right. Yeah, good.
No, we've got a comment on Facebook there. We are live on both Facebook. So both we are live on three things. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, and we're live on Twitter.
Hello, all.
Paul Ground has just said on Facebook, it's a lot of people for Chelsea to agree to take. They must have really wanted Potter. Lots of people for them to sack to make way for them all.
Good point.
Curtis, those decisions or those contracts, surely they would have been in place a while ago. Do you think before we knew about it?
I was saying this to my brother yesterday. I said like this is all happened. It's all happened so soon, and we've been hearing about how the owner of Chelsea has been looking at replacements for a while now. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's been communications before we were even told about it or we knew about it. So
Maybe so. We are also
yes.
joined by also a founder of the Albion Obsessed podcast, Toby. It's been a while, mate, and it sucks that we have to meet like this again. Bruno's gone as well. That's the one I'm really struggling with.
Oh, mate. I mean, we've just been texting in the group chat, mate, and as I said, I wasn't sure if I wanted to come on because, it's a big moment in Brighton history. It's the sort of thing that it might get clipped up over time if I say the wrong thing here. But my heart, it feels like it's been ripped out my chest, and again, not for Graham Potter. Graham Potter leaving, I'd be like, oh, this is quite a bad thing for the football club, but Bruno going. Roberts go. Football's lost its soul. It feels like. Why are we just? Why is everyone just leaving at the first chance? Oh, I can't hear you, Joe. Sorry, you've cut out. I think.
I'm muted, Toby. How very professional of me. The club don't stand in people's way, do they? And that's been something that's been said by Bloom many times. Is it about time that we try and act a little bit stronger in these situations? Can we, as a club of our stature, because let's face it, let's be truthful, we are smaller or less financially able than Chelsea, can we as a club actually stand in the way of it?
Well, I mean, I don't like the idea of standing in the way of anyone progressing their career. Personally, I do believe Potter deserves the chance at Champions League. I would have preferred to see it, at a more respectable time, because now he's set us up in this position where all of a sudden we've got a really good chance of having a great season, and he's just left us in the lurch with no clue what's coming next. Probably no real plan of having a manager ready, you know what I mean? Whereas if he had given a new manager a pre-season at least to try and get through it all, we'd be looking a lot better. As a club, we always talk about wanting to be a staple top 10 Premier League team, but you've got teams like Newcastle now with the funding they've got. You've got teams like Everton. I said in the podcast a few weeks ago, they just throw money at it until it works. There's got to come a point where we've got to realise, hang on, we want to be one of those top 10 clubs we said we're going to be. When are we going to be the ones that make these sorts of moves? When are we going to be the one that blocks these sorts of things happening? We are an attractive prospect. Why people want to leave us in the first place is beyond me anyway. But if someone doesn't want to be here, you've got to let them go. And it's just, I don't think that Bruno didn't want to be here.
Yeah. We are joined by Aaron and Curtis again. Curtis has dropped back in.
Sorry about that.
Aaron, speak.
Livid, angry, disappointed, hurt, feel a bit betrayed. The list could go on, to be honest. I can get frustrations with Potter leaving. I get it to a certain degree, but the likes of Bruno and Roberts, that's got me. That's got me, I think.
I think it's obvious to know why it's got you, but can you sort of explain, like, why is it those two that's really irked you? As I say, it's obvious to me.
I think Jack on Twitter said it perfectly. Once a seagull, always a seagull, and clearly fucking not. Because if you meant that, you would stay. You would stay even if Pep was manager and he goes elsewhere. You stay with that club. That club has made you a name in English football and a legend at this football club. It's not like it's a random player or a random coach who's just coming. Oh, he's done a couple of good things. He was our club captain. He was El Capitan. And I am so angry at just everything about this move.
What are your feelings towards Bruno as an individual then now?
Difficult to say, because obviously I don't know how to answer that, Joe, at the moment. I really don't know how to answer that. If hand on heart, I don't. It's too raw. It's a bit something inside me. I think the betrayal. No, it's not a betrayal. It just feels like it doesn't feel real. Like he is Brighton through and through. Like, he said this and then he just goes and does that. I just don't get it. Like, they're all going to be out of a job within a year. Like, let's be real. That's Chelsea's motto. I don't care if it's under Abramovich or this new guy. That's always what they're going to do. They'll go on a run after 6-7 games without a win, and then the pressure will be on Potter straight off the pressure's going to be on Potter straight off the bat anyway. Like, people are going to scrutinise every little thing he does at Chelsea without a shadow of a doubt. And this is what's fucked up with football at the precise moment in time, is when the little guys get a bit of success, the big guys don't like it. The little ones can't have any success. It's not right. Big guys coming, we'll take that.
They have to make damn sure there's not another Leicester.
Exactly.
Every club at the Big Six, they have to make damn sure that no Leicester happens again. Why?
It's wrong. It's just wrong. It's so wrong. Like, I get it. I get the fact is, every club wants to be a Leicester who aren't in the top six. Every club wants to be that team who will do the unthinkable, who will win the Premier League, completely against the run of play. But the more and more this sort of stuff happens, the less likely it's going to be. Like Toby just said, they will make sure the top 6. There will never be another winner outside of the top 6. It's plain as day. I do. It's honestly, people take the piss out of me on my group chats and stuff, saying, "Oh, I'm overreacting," blah blah blah. I don't really care what they think, because it's true. Big clubs like that are killing the small teams. Is any sort of hopes, dreams, joys they have in the season. For me, right now, I generally couldn't care about the season for at least the next 2 months, because I'm just so angry, so wound up that
a lot of people, Aaron. A lot of people play devil's advocate on Twitter, rightly or not rightly so, and say, "Did we do the same thing to Swansea?" What's your take on that? Did we poach their manager? What's the difference?
So we did, but the issue is the one thing that's really bothering me is the fact is we done it at the end of the season. There's a difference. That in itself is a humongous difference.
They had a great season under him as well.
Exactly,
they had a great season. He let it finish. He took his time to decide to come to us, and he chose in the end, yes, he will. And he had a pre-season for them, which meant that they had a full pre-season.
Right, guys,
we've had to start.
There's a few comments here that rolled in, because, as I say, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So Janet on Facebook has said he's taken the whole coaching team with him and expected to be in the post for Saturday. Who exactly do we have left for our match against Bournemouth on Saturday? Curtis, can I get your what next for us then? We've got a game to prepare for that's less than 2 days away now.
I mean, from what I understand, I think it's Crofts is going to be taken over as interim. But that, I mean, it's maddening, isn't it? Like, it's so crazy. Because I was like, oh, Potter goes, it's all right, we got Bruno, he'll take the helm, but he's just gone off in his merry way as well with that lot as well. And yeah, I know a lot of people are going to say that we're just reactionary and stuff like that, but it's infuriating. I mean, I agree with everything that Aaron was saying about how these big 6 teams thinking they could just swan in with their bags of money and be like, oh, we'll take that person and we'll take that player and we don't care how it affects this team or whatever. And like, it matters to us, you know. And it's just it's frustrating. It's really frustrating.
There's one thing I want to get clear, because I think a lot of top 6 fans see this, and as Aaron says, they see it as overreacting. It's like, listen, I don't blame the fans of these top 6 clubs for what's going on. I blame the money-making, corrupt owners that just force this. I don't want to swear because it's before the watershed type thing, but they force
that ship sailed, mate, for me.
It's just beyond me that we're just like, we should be overreacting. We should overreact more than we've ever overreacted before, because football is losing its soul. This screams of football losing its soul. If Potter went, that's fine. He's only been with us for 3 years. He's not a Brighton legend. Bruno, however, was, and he's stripped himself of that. You know what I mean? I've seen a tweet here.
Do you think that that's legendary status gone then?
Well, I've seen this tweet here at Connor, the only legendary Spanish right back to have played for the club, with a picture of Calderon.
Yeah, I just seen that as well.
And I'm on the verge. I'm on the verge, because it literally feels. I know Aaron says it's not quite betrayal, but
what tips you over that verge then?
Going this quickly. It's been probably 24 hours. That's it. Like, why is there not, like, why do we have to be like, oh, Chelsea want him now, so we're going to give him to him now? Why can't we just say, right, yes, you can have Graham Potter and you can talk to the staff in the meantime, but we want him for Saturday, and then we've got a 3-week break to then look for a manager, prepare, sort ourselves out. Why not just wait until then? Like, just have a little think about it.
Does that help us if we've got a manager that doesn't want to be there, Aaron?
I think the problem is with that is we had this release clause in this contract, or this whatever clause it is, which as soon as that's activated, there's absolutely nothing as a club we can do. I remember Naylor tweeting out something yesterday. What do you say? It was like, we will let Bloom will let Potter speak to him. And it just gets to me. It just gets to me because we can't stop whenever they were going to do it with that release clause. If we didn't have it in, whole different ball game. We could just play hardball and be like we did with the Crew Creative deal. Which no, we don't want to sell it at that price. With the release clause, we had no choice. And for Saturday, I think with Crofts and I mean it's Shannon Ruth, isn't it, as his assistant?
Yeah, Sam Peter said it will be Shannon Ruth, set play coach Nick Stanley, Adam Lallana, and goalkeeping coach Jack Stern.
And that's the thing. We just got to focus on that now. And like for 90 minutes, this will be, I reckon, will be the hardest 90 minutes of our season, in my opinion.
Sorry, I don't have
It's going to be massive.
that.
So that's Alexa. Maybe Alexa could take charge. That would be nice.
She busy Saturday or?
Yeah. We've got another comment.
What else I want to say quickly after we can read this first. Actually, we can read this first.
Yeah. So we just got another quick comment. I heard Potter's staff were a part of his release clause. I didn't know that. This might sound really stupid of me, but I didn't know that Bruno was part of his coaching team and would be taken with him when he moved on.
Agreed. I was under the impression that it would be Bourne and Billy Reid would be the ones that I would have thought under him, because they're the ones who came in with him from Swansea and were with him. There was
also a guy, like a development person he brought with him as well.
Yeah, I can't remember that guy's name.
I can't remember what his name was, but
no.
That was Kyle McCauley, the analyst.
Yeah.
But I think he's probably a large reason that we've been quite successful with our recruitment recently as well. A recruitment analyst suggests to me that he's been very important in what we've done and the amazing transfers we've made. But, the thing I want to touch on as well that I put in the group chat that I need to say on here is this doesn't end with Graham Potter. Trossard now is a target. Lamptey now is a target. You've got all of these players that are playing well for us. Caicedo is now a target. Webster even. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea's defence is every year they're manipulating and changing their defence, selling people, buying people. Koulibaly's quite old. They brought him in to steady the ship this season, but he's quite old. They'll need someone a bit younger. Webster is now a target. Our whole squad is just going to be... we're being poached. We're being poached by Newcastle. We're being poached by Chelsea. We're being poached by any club that's got money. Just comes in and just ruins it.
So then, Toby, how does that stop? We say we have to trust Tony Bloom all the time, and that he's saved us. He's given so much to this football club. It's hard for a few fans that I've seen on Twitter to be trusting him right now. Seeing the way this has gone down, how does that poaching of our football club stop?
The reality of football is it doesn't. It just doesn't, and it won't, and it'll never will, because unless we get some Saudi owners that violate human rights or some Russian billionaires when the war is over, or, I don't want that to happen anyway. I love Tony Bloom. I want him in charge of my club, for better or worse. He is... pound for pound best owner in the Premier League. But if we're talking about measures that can be taken by the authorities that be, you're looking at things like spending caps. You're looking at things like wage caps. But then they're coming back to us and saying, then we'll just lose all our top talent from this league. And it's like, yeah, but at what point does... at what point do us fans say, no, we're no longer just being customers. We want to keep our soul. It's why more and more people are going back to watching, non-league stuff. And I love to see it. I love to see these grassroots clubs doing well. But the fact is that everything's too expensive at the top now to even go and watch, let alone, be a continuous fan of. You're a shirt collector, Joe. You know about it. The price goes up by another 10 quid every year. We're a couple of years away from it being 3 figures guaranteed just to buy a football top of your favourite team in the Premier League. It's the whole definition of we are customers to them and not fans, and therefore nothing will be done if football's lost its soul.
I absolutely agree. Let's try and sort of look to the future. And look at.
But Joe, by the way, what I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry, go on, Curtis.
No, it's fine. It's like what's annoying me now is just just a lot of these big pages like Lads Bible and Odds Bible and all this other stuff just taking the piss out of Brighton. Obviously, if you look at the betting favourites for people to potentially take over, Poch is on there. I doubt it'll happen, obviously, but they're like, oh, can you imagine if Poch goes from managing Messi to managing, Trossard, Welbeck, and March at Brighton? I'm sorry, I don't ever do this, but fuck off. Big time. It's super disrespectful at this point. We're not just some team that you can just kick about. I don't get the point of it. I'm sorry for swearing, but still.
No, absolutely not. As people can probably imagine watching this, emotions are running high right now.
Yes,
and the things that are said at Albion Obsessed HQ are of our own opinions, and if you don't like it, then
I'm sure some of you agree with them as well. By the way, I'm just
I'm sure. Right, let's look at this comment from the Dugout Football channel. Who would you guys want to take over our football club now? If you can even answer, I was on radio this morning and they asked me who I would want to take over. I couldn't answer the question. Aaron, can you answer the question?
Not really, to be honest. There's no one. Well, I think Curtis said there's Poch, but it's unrealistic. If anyone says Brendan Rodgers, I'll just cancel my season ticket. Couldn't get anything worse. I'd honestly rather have Scott Parker at the club than Brendan Rodgers, and that says a lot. There's no one out there for me at the moment. I'm not sure about this guy from it's Norway or Denmark, one of the two. I can't pronounce his name. People say in the comments I can't pronounce it.
It's Knutson, I believe. Yeah,
Knutson.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him, so I can't really comment on. But he seems to be the clear favourites from everybody on Twitter and on the betting apps, etc. But there isn't. I was saying this to my dad last night. I was like, there isn't anyone I could see taking over. Beforehand, when Houghton went, Potter was doing fantastically well at Swansea. So it was when we were linked with him, that'd be a really good one. But at the moment, I can't really see anyone per se. If Forest was still in the Championship, I wouldn't mind going for Cooper personally. But that's just my personal opinion. Like I said, there isn't really anyone that stands out. And that might be me being very, very closed-minded, but it's still very raw. So I just can't get my head around it all.
I agree.
I mean, there's one thing I wanted to just say on that, and I said it in the group chat the other day. There is no manager in world football that I would rather have at Brighton than Graham Potter right now. If I had the option between Potter and Pep, Potter and Klopp, Potter. I prime Sir Alex Ferguson or Potter right now for this Brighton project. I want Potter because I believe he's playing a style of football that suits the future of football.
Not only that, it's his project.
Yeah, and who better to continue it? I mean, I've been doing some research on this Kettle Knutson guy. And I mean, it's not like he's got some prolific career. It's not like he's bringing something really special to the table.
Yeah, but
like
Graham Potter did.
No, he did. Because Ostersund's, he took them from the 4th division to the Champions League. Did well with Swansea. This Kettle guy, as far as I can tell, he joined the team in the first Norwegian division, which, by the way, I didn't even know the Norwegian league had clubs in it. And then they I'm just looking at it now. He had a 42% win rate with them. They went down the season after he left, so he must have been doing something right to keep them up.
I believe they beat Jose Mourinho's Roma last season.
This is his next team after that. So he then moved to Bodo Glimt, where he has a 56% win rate. But I've also had a look at them, and they're arguably one of the best teams in the league. It's like me going and managing Man City, winning the league, and going, "Yeah, look, I'm such a good manager. I just won the league." It's not even a like for like replacement. It's nowhere near a like for like replacement. No. It's so far off.
It's like I said this morning on 5 Live. It's always going to be hard to replace Graham Potter. Like you said, Toby, you couldn't envisage anyone else. I think, or it might have been you, Aaron. I don't know who it was.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? No one's ever going to be able to We're not going to. Whilst it's all really raw, we're not going to be able to think logistically about this. We're all going to be just very, very angry about it, and rightfully so. But like at the moment, to me, I'm just like, who?
But the club have always said that they keep an eye on the emerging talents all around the world, whether that be coaching, scouting, or players. Curtis, with this guy being odds-on favourite, this Knutson guy, would you imagine that he's been the one that's been in line to replace Graham Potter all along?
I don't know.
All the names are so left. All the names are so left field.
It's but like this is what I was saying to my brother. Like when I first started to hear about this Potter stuff, I was like, oh, don't worry. I'm sure we'll be linked with some manager I've never heard of in some league that I don't pay attention to, and here we go. But this is not me taking anything away from this Knutson guy. Obviously, he's done what he's done, and he's kept a team up, and he's won a few really great games and everything. But is he the right guy for a Brighton project? No idea. I mean, it's one of those you'll have to see it play out, but like, is it worth taking that risk?
Yeah. Aaron, do you worry about what this is going to do to our players ahead of the weekend?
Yeah, that's why I think Saturday is going to be the biggest game of our season. Like, I really hope they come out all guns blazing, really fucking pissed off, like really pissed off, and we beat them 5-6-0, just absolutely batter them, and just to prove a point, this is what you left, and why Chelsea go and lose at Fulham. That would be the perfect scenario, which they probably will, because Chelsea are absolute trash. They can't defend. It's funny. So,
yeah,
like I'm going to sit back and probably enjoy watching Potter fail and watching him lose his job in a year, and I wouldn't feel bad about it. I will not feel bad about it.
And he comes back to the Amex. He comes back to the Amex on October the 29th. The reception that he gets, Aaron?
It'll be horrendous. I hope it is horrendous. I really do.
Yeah, I get the impression that's going to be slightly frosty.
He deserves nothing but praise for what he's done at the club, but he deserves nothing but shit for what he's left us in.
That spot on. I could not put it better myself, Toby. The exact same thing.
And I feel the need to preface something though. We our club is more than one person. We, no matter who comes in, no matter what direction the club goes in, we will always support it, and we will always, speak our truth about it. Potter's gone, and I know it seems hard right now, but we've just got to mow forward and just deal with what comes, essentially. So,
I think you're right.
Absolutely agree.
We do have to deal with what comes, but the fact it's happened in 24 hours. I just can't understand it. I can't fathom it. Like as soon as I saw Tuchel got sacked yesterday when I was at work, I instantly went, uh-oh. Because it was just too much of a coincidence.
It's premeditated as well. No, there's no chance they
100%.
There's no chance they sack Tuchel if they know that they couldn't get Potter.
Potter, exactly.
That's the only reason they sacked him. Literally,
they've done
it.
Yeah, they've done their due diligence and seen there's a release clause in that contract and gone, yeah, I like him. He's done a good job for a small club. We'll take him to our club, and that's exactly what he's done. Exactly what he's done. And
well, because apparently the owner's been a fan of Potter's for a while, so that should tell you something.
But it's just ripping the soul out of it. I mean, taking Bruno and Roberts as well. Is there no limit to what happens in football? I mean, is there a reason why Tom's not here? Have they taken Tom as well? Chelsea obsessed.
Am I not good enough? I'm not a good enough host now.
Joe's leaving after this, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah. I just want to as well. If Alfie, the design man, I can't remember his Alfie Bacon, that's the one. If he's watching, he sent me a care package yesterday because I lost my Bruno badge. I lost my hat with all my pin badges on. And he sent me a care package yesterday filled with these. I'm not sure what to do with them now, guys. Do you still want one?
No, not really. No, thank you.
Oh dear.
Just put them in a dusty drawer.
For Christmas this year, I got a T-shirt with the exact same Bruno picture on it. And I'm so speechless because just when you think you know somebody and you see him and he's always smiling in training, and every time he comes out for the warm-up, he's always smiling, having a little giggle, you know, getting the players up for it because he knows what it means to put on a Brighton shirt just for a 24-hour decision where he's like, yeah, I'll upheave my life and fuck off.
Here's another devil's advocate question. Again, these are not my beliefs, these are just me playing devil's advocate. Do you think if Bruno was a permanent part of Graham Potter's coaching staff, and this is open to anyone, do you think that he had a choice?
Definitely had a choice, because
100%.
I don't think he was necessarily Graham Potter's decision. I think it was a fact that, he's a Brighton legend, he's available for cheap because he loves Brighton, let's get him in for now on the Brighton shoestring budget or whatever. And then, you know, now he's seen more money and he's gone, actually, Brighton are probably underpaying me compared to what I could be getting. I mean, I you know, two or so years as a coach now for Bruno, I don't understand. You know, he can't be that good that he's worth being paid that much. So that's the reason he's jumped at the opportunity, because he knows, I've only been a coach for 2 years. I've not earned my stripes in this field yet.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not sure what else to say, guys, to be honest. Because we can't talk about a replacement because that's up in the air. We've had our say quite emotionally on the departure of not only Graham Potter but the whole of the backroom staff as well. He's probably taken a tea lady with him as well. So if anyone's decent,
by the way, like I don't know if you saw the Chelsea announcement. If you read that, there was sort of like a half-assed thank you in there as well.
I did read that. Yeah, that pissed me off more.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting like a statement, like a video statement or anything, but just sort of like anything would be nice. But anyway, but yeah, like I said to you before, we all just need to just fucking get on with it and deal with it and just cope. Essentially, we'll be fine. Brighton will be fine.
The
club,
scary,
ultimately.
The scary thing is for me, Curtis, is this could be the very start of our demise.
Yeah, I'm worried about that too.
And I'm not trying to sound really over dramatic, but it could be. We were overachieving. We were overachieving because of Graham Potter.
It's a slippery slope.
Let's not get that wrong. Like, yes, we've got some fantastic players in there, but he molded him into a team that played fantastic football. He molded him into fantastic individuals, players on and off the field. Will the new coach do that? Will he be able to do that? I will, hand on heart, we'll stay up this year. Next year will be a struggle. That's my personal opinion. And it's horrible thing to think of. Bear in mind, we were thinking of European tour like in Sunday afternoon. What is it? Thursday today. What's Thursday? Yeah, Thursday today. Yeah. It's madness to think that.
Yeah, that's what angers me. That's what angers me the most. Like that after 6 games, this had to happen. You know, like not at the beginning of the season, but the end. Like it's just frustrating.
The thing is as well, if you know you've seen it. I'm not sure if you've watched All or Nothing, and I've brought it up twice now, but Arsenal All or Nothing. But Mikel Arteta seems to have a way with the players that he's probably learned off Pep. If Bruno stayed, he probably had managed to learn something off Potter.
Yeah, exactly.
And Bruno comes in as interim, gets a string of results together. All of a sudden, we're on the same Potter project, but instead we're doing it with Bruno when he gets offered a contract. And then we've got a manager at the helm that we already trust, know, love, legend. We've got, you know, once a Seagull, always a Seagull. You know, he's sitting there. He's on his way to be both a legendary player and manager. and then he just throws it all away. All of the coaching staff going is a fucking nightmare because we had people that had learned off Potter that they're not there anymore. So we're going to have a completely new project, and no project will be as good as this one. I understand that, but now it's about just absolutely knuckling down and making sure we find the right pick.
Exactly that. And like something I said just before you say your piece, Aaron, something I said on Twitter is we're all going to stay the same. We're all Brighton fans, and we are all feeling exactly the same way. And we have each other. We're going to be there at the Amex, whoever it is next, because obviously the Palace game's been postponed now. But whoever we're against at the Amex will be there. A lot of our guys are going to Bournemouth. They're going to be there as well. So we just have to sort of, as Curtis has said, stick together and hope that the new man comes in and
because I can tell you what, this team are going to be constantly here providing you with, top quality Brighton stuff. Don't you worry about that. We'll always be around.
We'll try.
We're not snakes in the grass. But just stick around for more great content.
Yes. Sorry, Aaron, you was going to say something earlier.
Probably nothing worth mentioning. I can't remember what it was going to be, to be fair, mate. So.
Oh, that's all right. Does anyone else have anything to say before we sign off air and go and cry? Go on, Aaron.
So I just saw, I think it was Ollie Wilson just said on the chat, Nathan Jones to be our next manager. I would like him in the fact possibly as an assistant, personally not as number one. That's my personal preference. I think it'd be nice to get someone who knows the club with Bloom at the helm back. So, i.e. Jones or, to be fair, even give Crofts the assistant manager's job or something. Just someone that understands how the club has been running. That's really about it for me. To be fair, I'm just going to rant and lose my head otherwise.
The thing is also this whole thing affects even down to the under 21s because they now have lost their manager because it was Crofts that was managing them, right?
Yeah, it's a huge domino effect, and it. I'm sure I would imagine Crofts will return to that post once we get someone else in. I don't think Crofts will make the move up to the first team duties. Maybe if there's no assistant or he can't bring in backroom staff, I would imagine anyone that we do bring in will already have backroom staff with them. I am just really largely anticipating the Tony Bloom press conference or the Paul Barber press conference that's going to come out, because it's all good us speculating what's gone on, what's happening. We need to hear it from the people that have let this happen.
I agree. They should have already said something or put something out, but they haven't. They've just put a thank you, Graham Potter video out, but they've nothing else.
I've just been seeing talk from a couple of people on Twitter. I can't name them because I've lost them already. But they were saying that Naylor, Barber and Bloom are all sort of goading the fans, saying that this is a great deal for the Albion because of how much money we're getting. This is not a great deal for the Albion.
No, I don't care about the money if we don't bloody reinvest it.
Exactly. This is the thing. We can get thrown millions and £1 million at us. I do not give a flying monkeys, because if we have not got the right man in charge to use that money, what is the point?
By the way, it also seems like Adam Lallana is going to be assisting in the management position too.
He's injured anyway to October, isn't he? So
you might as well. Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, Ian, I agree. That's the thing. What's got me the most is Bruno. I just don't. I know I've always said there's no such thing as loyalty in football at the moment or anymore. You get the very rare players, the one club man. You got Dunk, Zaha, etc. Zaha. Dunk. Dunk.
What? Aaron, this is live. I can't bleep it.
Holy shit! What happened?
Also, he's not a one club man. Remember, he left Palace for Man United the second he got a chance. He doesn't care about you, Palace fans.
He doesn't. Don't know what happened there. Christ alive. Noble, Dunk, etc. You haven't got that in football anymore. You just haven't, and it's just proven that with Bruno, with Potter, with everyone.
It's the
We
fans
start-
that are loyal for the most part.
Yeah.
Do you know what I wonder?
We stuck by him in our worst possible run we've had for God knows how long. And where any other owner, any other club, he'll get sacked. Without a shadow of a doubt. Even before lockdown, a couple of seasons ago, before lockdown, when we lost to Palace. That's my first thoughts were, I think he needs to go. Then obviously, luckily for him, lockdown did, and then no lockdown happened, and he's managed to somehow get his way out of it. But is Tom coming on? No, it's everyone's sulking. Okay.
And by the way, again, I want to preface something. I said it in the group chat earlier on. If I hear another sports-based podcast or radio station mentioning the fact that Potter got booed in one game again, and that is resting on his mind, and that's why he left, I am going to punch a hole in the wall. I swear to Christ, I'm
one
done
thing
with
I do want to do is just acknowledge, obviously, Steve Perry's comment there. And Steve, we have just spoken about him actually.
Yeah.
Knutson, I'm not particularly impressed. He's done it in a league where he was with a team that looked like they were battling relegation. He left. They got relegated the season after. To me, it looks like he was probably the one keeping them up, and he's probably a good manager at keeping them up. He then goes to the best team in that league, and then, of course, wins things, does well in the Europe, and you would almost expect it from that sort of side. And it's the sort of thing that I said. If I went to manage Man City, I'm near certain I could get a very good Premier League result. I could definitely get top 4 with that side. And I, to be fair, I know very little about tactics.
That's all the football manager you've been playing.
Yeah,
Toby.
exactly. See,
this comment here from Harry. Obviously quite concerned that we don't have any other Premier League coaching staff that are going to assist Adam Lallana and Andrew Cross on Saturday. So as you say, Aaron, go on.
But then again, Bournemouth are also not without a manager at the moment. They've got Gary O'Neill in charge.
Won't this be like the first managerless Premier League game, right?
Legit. It generally could be. It generally could be.
I mean, I feel like I need to say something else off of the back of what Curtis said. That manager where Potter got booed, and he came out in the media after and he said, "Do Brighton fans need a history lesson?" And at the time, I remember saying to you on the podcast, mate, he's arrogant.
To be fair, he said maybe he needs a history lesson at the
Oh, sorry, yeah.
He didn't say. I also got that wrong. In a rant earlier last season. But. Yeah, he said maybe he needs a history lesson, but as well, does that what does that say about him if he's making that comment?
If he's at that time going to be that sort of arrogant, I'm wondering if he comes to us and plays us and we boo him now, what is he going to say the same thing again? Oh, maybe I need a history lesson of the things I did for the club, mate. It frustrates me so much now that I look back on some of the things that he said, if you're not going to stick by it and commit to it, because you said all these things just to leave it in the bin. And it's like you're going to a place where you will not be appreciated. I'm seeing Chelsea fans on Sport Bible or whatever saying, oh, why have you gone for Potter? He's nothing, Pochettino's proven in the Premier League. It's like, hang on. Well, first of all, Potter is proven in the Premier League. Second of all,
Pochettino won?
Yeah, exactly. And it's
fair point.
Come on now.
Pochettino, if you want to come to Tony Bloom's tricky goals, we'll welcome you in with open arms.
I don't want any Spurs injected into us. Thank you, Curtis.
Posh makes sense. I hate to say it. Posh makes sense.
I honestly wouldn't actually. I would quite like that.
But we won't get it. I don't think we'll get it.
Yeah,
it's unrealistic, but it makes sense. And if we were the sort of club to do that, if we were in Everton or in Newcastle, we'd throw money at it and get Posh in. But we're not the sort of club to do that.
We've just received £21 million, Toby. Is it about time we throw money at it?
Irregardless.
Joe, we've just received £62 million from Kukurea.
Well, I know, but
it's over like 160
we've
million.
We've just lost 5 staff members.
It won't matter because you hire Posh for X amount of money. he does well or whatever, the backroom staff want X amount of money. It's all percentage wise. So if Posh gets paid that, then every staff member's percentage goes up by 30% because that's how much he's earning more than Potter did. Then the next manager comes in and goes, oh, Posh was earning that for the same job. I want this. You know, it's a domino effect that we cannot afford as a club. Whereas Everton, you know, hundreds of £1 million in debt, they can do it because their debt just seems to just not exist. It just seems to go in the minus and it stays there forever.
So people watching this on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, let us know what you believe that this massive change in Brighton & Hove Albion history means for our football club going forward, because it's going to be massive. It's going to be scary. There's going to be so many bumps along the road. So at us, Albion Obsessed, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and let us know what you think.
By the way, reports from Brian Owen on Twitter are saying early days, but a reporter from Norway who follows Bodo Glimt says neither he nor some of the people closest to him in Bodo think he's coming to Brighton.
Okay, cool. So there goes our
this is just early days, obviously.
Replacement.
So,
well, of course.
Yeah,
I can't remember what I was going to say.
but we probably shouldn't talk too much about this until we have something to actually talk about. But yeah,
no, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just still so just baffled by it all. Like, it just happens so quick.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the thing. Like last night, trying to sleep, it was tossing and turning, tossing and turning. I just couldn't switch off. I could not understand how quick this happened.
Yeah.
And it was just like, just tell us the news, and we could just sort of just try and get over it. If it was just Potter that went, Potter, Bjorn, Billy, all right, I'll be angry, but I'll be like, all right, but we've at least got Bruno, we've got Roberts, etc. The fact is they've taken those two as well, gutting the complete backroom staff that we've had for the last 4 years or 3 years or how long it's been. That hurts. Like, that's basically Potter going, I'm going to take everything good you've had and bring it with me. And then come January, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
Come back and take Caicedo,
what does the conversation look like between our players and Adam Lallana, who's reportedly taken charge with Andrew Crofts before the game on Bournemouth? What is the conversation?
I don't think
More of the same.
It has to be that. It has to be that. Because I would have really hoped if Potter left to say goodbye this morning, that he sat everyone down in a meeting room and said, just keep doing what you're doing. Surely. Just
that
keep
comment
doing...
made, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, this comment is really interesting. We want to... I'll just let you finish what you're saying, Aaron, and then we'll touch on this.
Yeah. You'll get... Because this is what I would hope. It probably never happened this way, but this is what I would hope. He sat them down and said, look, I am going. I am going to be leaving. You're all fantastic players. Keep doing what you're doing. And you will go far. I can't imagine. I can imagine Potter doing that because he's that sort of manager. He understands the mind and how players work. But to take everyone with him, it seems basically like, yeah, keep up good work, but I'm taking everything I've fucking done and going elsewhere.
Yeah. Let's talk about that manager's transfer window then, Curtis. Do you think that would be a good idea? Do you think that would ever happen?
It should absolutely be a thing, because you end up in situations like this, 6 games into a season, and as you said, our back room is completely gutted. I just think it would be a fair thing to do. Essentially my take on it.
End of the season only.
And should it be like a sacking window as well? So obviously you could sack a manager and then like promote your under 21s manager to be the coach.
But then wait till the window opens to hire an actual manager.
Yeah. So do you think a sacking window should also be the case?
No, I don't. Not for me.
No, I don't think even the manager window really would work.
Why?
That's the thing. I just don't think it would. There should be not like common courtesy. I don't think it can be common courtesy to do it at the end of the season.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
but even then, you can't. It's in the end of the day, the football club is a business. At the end of the day, it is, isn't it? So if someone's not performing, what are you going to do? You're going to sack them.
Sack them.
It doesn't matter if it's June end or start of June or middle of December.
And also on the
happen.
flip side, if you're a call center agent and you're earning 19 grand a year, and you find another call center job that's 25 grand a year and it's only down the road, you're going to go to that higher paid job, aren't you?
Of course you are.
So
Like that in itself is just self-explanatory. Like if there was such a thing as a manager window for movement and stuff, I personally can't see it. I don't think it would work. But at this moment in time, I wish there was. I wish there was.
I feel like I need to add a point. Sorry, I feel like I need to add a point, like before I forget it. But that analogy of if you're a call center agent and there's one up the road for more pay, but you're talking about, you're talking about a big salary increase to someone who might not be able to afford rent at the end of each month. You're talking about someone who's earning hundreds of £1,000s a week, going to more hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. There's no difference there in waiting until the end of the season. You pre-agree a contract with Chelsea. Chelsea hire an interim for the season. At least then you've said, look, I'm going to give it my all for the rest of the season at Brighton. See if you can do something special. If you do, then we reap the rewards of what you've done. If not, you've not left us in the shit. You've given us the time to sort it out. That there's no, I don't give a single fuck if it's a 50% pay rise to you. I'm sorry, it's completely different. It's a completely different situation. It's the difference between, changing someone's life, earning that £5 more per year could change the difference between them paying rent and feeding their kids over someone who has everything, has luxury sports cars, has a great big house wherever they want it in the country, in any country in the world. You know what I mean? They have that. Potter can probably go anywhere in the world and do anything. He go to China for more money if he wants.
Yeah.
If we're being realistic, that shouldn't be an argument in any case.
No, fair enough. I completely agree, Toby. So we've got a few more comments, as I said earlier. Another person calling for Nathan Jones as manager. Again, Aaron, I stand by your point that it'd be great to have in around the club, but I'm not sure he would come to us just to be an assistant whilst he's got a manager's job. Horrible day. I absolutely agree.
I have to amen to that. Horrible.
But Nathan Jones has done a great job where he's at, but I just don't think it's quite the right time. So
no, absolutely. He's obviously a fantastic young coach who's got a lot ahead of him. And he's got a great thing going at Luton, to be honest. They really successful last year. Unlucky in the playoffs, had a lot of injuries. Judas move. And we've got Caicedo and Trossard will be off next.
This is what I'm concerned
Aaron, I'll come
about.
to you in a sec on that Judas move. Ian says, it's shocking he's took all the coaching staff. It will take us a while to recover anywhere near what he has built. And Harry has said, the reality is, guys, the fans have been let down. Why? Because Potter took every single person he came with and took more. He has left us with nothing but a tea lady.
At least we got tea. That's a positive.
That comes then back to this comment, Aaron. Judas.
Now that word Judas, as soon as I heard that, do you know who it reminded me of? It very much reminded me of when Murray moved to Palace. And I think I was probably about this angry when he went there. If not more.
Yeah, I bet you were.
As you can imagine, Curtis, the language then would have been atrocious for a little old me.
A bit spicy, yeah.
I couldn't agree with Alfie more. It is a Judas move. Like it really is. I get the fact he wants to progress his career. I get that. I understand that. As a coach, you have an opportunity to go to a bigger club with bigger potential, etc. That nonsense. But look at their background in their managers. Sacked over start of the season. Bear in mind, it's been an okay start to their season. spent almost £250 million in the transfer market, get sacked, resigned, sacked. You look at it and think, well, what's attractive about going there? You're not going to last long.
No.
Like
I see
you're going to be there for
Chelsea's.
you're going to be there for a year, 2 years max before
Yeah.
they make a change. The
And then-
fans will
and
probably
then
call
where
for his
it-
head already.
Exactly, and then
that's
where
a
is he
stupid
left
thing.
when he
Yeah.
does get inevitably sacked? Where is he then? Does he go to? He'll probably end up at Villa.
Yeah,
or something.
Exactly where he'll go. He'll take two steps
probably.
back and join
Or
Villa.
Everton or something.
The thing
And
is,
that's not
though,
that's not me disrespecting Villa at all. That's me
Oh, no.
saying he would lose his chance of a big six managerial job and then end up somewhere where even worse off than he was, because arguably Brighton under Graham Potter, not even arguably, what am I saying? We are under Graham Potter miles better than anyone else below us.
the thing is,
we are though.
The more I'm thinking about it, the more we're on this live stream, the more I'm talking about it. You know what they say about people with nothing left to lose? Do you know what I mean? We have got nothing left to lose. We have got a chance to appoint a risky South American manager that's young, that's got fresh ideas, all of a sudden comes in, finds the next Pele, Messi, Ronaldo. You know, I'm just seeing on Twitter, actually, a guy called Vitor Pereira from Corinthians in Brazil, allegedly already agreed terms because someone's in the know and he's got sources like HP and ketchup and Heinz.
What's the Ecuador manager doing these days? Anyone?
Yeah, right. Might as well.
Honestly,
but I really feel like in a time where we've got nothing left to lose, I wonder if the risks that we take now, do we just take the risk? Do we spend extra money? Do we start like funding a new manager with hundreds of millions that we've just got from Cucurella? And
the problem is it's just not our way of doing things, though, Toby. It's just not. I don't think it matters who will get in charge. I don't think we'll ever be that sort of club.
But we've just been gutted, top to bottom. We've been gutted.
I agree. I just don't think that's Bloom's motto. I don't think that's what he wants. I don't think that's what we should do. I'd be great if I'm honest. It'd be great if we did, but I don't think as a club we should do that. Because look at Fulham when they came up a couple of years back. They just chucked money at it, left, right, and centre. Nothing worked. They went down, and then they had to basically send all their players on big money out on loan or sell them, and then rebuild again. And I think if we did that, that's where we could end up.
But do you not think we're already going to have to be in a rebuilding phase now anyway?
We are to a certain degree. Because, actually, no, we are. There's no certain degree about it. We are.
Yeah.
Like you said, we have got nothing left of Potter's, the Potter project. It's now time to rebuild something. But do we want to rebuild something that has still got the same sort of outline of the Potter project, where we play the right football, we bring in young players, we develop young players, or do we just go, fuck it, just throw money at it?
I don't think we can. The thing is, I don't think we can. It's up to the new manager that comes in. Do you know what I mean? It's not up to Brighton as a club. It's up to the strategy of a new manager that comes in or a new head coach and says, listen, I don't think young players are the way forward. I think they're inexperienced, lose their heads, and it's too much of a risk. I think we get old heads in, like more people like Lallana, Welbeck. You see how good Welbeck's done for us this season. Why don't we just get a team of Welbecks? All of a sudden, you're looking at a team that's got their head really switched on, gets to Europe, but the problem is you get to Europe, you have injuries, you go down because you can't compete with the amount of games that's being played. It's about really finding the right strategy now, which I don't think that we can continue going with the Potter project. It's not the Potter project anymore. It's now the Brighton project or the Knutson project if he comes in. It's all about a master plan that is beyond what Potter has ever done for this club now.
Yeah, I think we've said everything we can say, to be honest, guys. I want to leave with one final question before hopefully our CEO or owner come out with some answers. For why this happened,
and they should do so,
and what's going to happen next, because we deserve answers. We pay our money, and we are loyal supporters of our football club. So this is the final question that I'm going to end with, guys. I'll come to you in turn. Do you trust that Tony Bloom will make the right move? Toby?
I always trust Bloom. I don't think he's ever let our club down since the day he stepped foot in the door up until today. He's never ever let our club down. There's been decisions that people can question, particularly with the sort of customers, not fans mindset that we seem to have at the moment as a club because of the modernisation. But generally, you can trust that Bloom does the right thing for the football club, whether it be finances, big decisions. And I do trust him, and I do trust that whoever he brings in is going to be good. And we just need to back it now.
Curtis?
Pretty much to echo a lot of what Toby said, Bloom has not ever given me any other reason to not believe he's not the right person to continue leading Brighton in the right direction. I mean, I feel like this managerial thing could be a bit of trial and error. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully we find someone that can fit us, for the long term pretty immediately. But there's going to be a lot of changes, and we're going to have to just accept those changes pretty quick.
Yeah, Aaron, the same question to you, but also something Curtis just said there, a bit of trial and error might have to take place. Do you think there's any room for trial and error in the Premier League? And do you trust Bloom that we'll get it right first time, hopefully?
The trial and error question, there isn't any room for that in the Premier League. You get punished very, very quickly. It's been proven plenty of times beforehand.
Yeah. And
do I trust Bloom? Yeah, I think we have to. Like Toby said, he's given us no reasons to doubt him. Even when he hired Hoopier, that was probably maybe one of the disaster classes, but we'll let him that was swept under the carpet.
He was ahead of his time, though. He was ahead of his time.
Yeah, is that agree or disagree, Joe? I can't remember.
Something like that.
Hold on.
He's got the thing somewhere. There we go.
He's not giving us a reason to doubt him, really.
No.
And I think Alfie just said it there. Bloom is the man. Without Bloom, we wouldn't be where we are. So
no, absolutely.
Even if the worst comes to worst, we do go down. But we've got a fantastic owner.
Yeah,
and not many people can say that.
Great live chat. Adrian says, fingers crossed, all goes well, and Brighton beats Chelsea for fourth spot. That would be the dream. Graham Potter is up for Manager of the Month for his performance for Brighton.
I think Marco Silva had a great month, though. I really think Marco Silva deserves that one.
But it is well known.
Yeah, Toby. Yeah.
Anyone who does win that normally has a really torrid run of results afterwards. The Manager of the Month curse. So maybe that will creep in for you, Graham, for your first game. Is it at Fulham at Craven Cottage? How did that go last time when he was at Craven Cottage?
By the way, Joe, I have a theory. I think Potter took Sammy the Seagull with him as well.
Possibly,
yeah.
He'll be Sammy the Blue Lion now, won't he?
Yeah. You wait.
Absolutely,
you'll see the beak out of the mouth of a lion's head. It'll just be ridiculous. Exactly. But in all seriousness, we've got this. I know we do. We'll be fine. Brighton will be fine.
Yeah. Okay. As we close, then, guys, we've got a big game against Bournemouth on Saturday. Let's hope that we can do it. And
we will do it, Joe. We will do it. We will pump them. I just know it.
I have nothing.
Lallana ball.
Yeah.
I am 100% here for it.
Fucking hell, what's happening to this club?
What a perfect way to end, Aaron. Thank you very much. But no, thank you everyone for joining us to chat about this really awful situation that's going on at our football club. We will see you for much more content coming very soon. So yeah, be nice to each other.
Bye.
And as Tom says, wherever you may be, whenever you may be, have a lovely day, evening, afternoon, brunch, 11sies, whatever he said last time.
And stop crying. It'll be all right.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye then. Bye.